Hey, Kev Wrights here. Today I want to talk about something we're all very familiar with, planning. And what did that mean? So, when you plan for something, you typically, block off time in your calendar for something like an event or a milestone or something that, is going to happen in the future. And this could be something from an annual event, like a birthday, for example, your birthday, and, people plan birthday parties, right? So on that day, for X amount of hours, uh, that's dedicated time to a birthday party. But I also wanted to talk about preparedness, right? Because there's only so far that you can plan in advance. But you can plan years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds. I don't know if you can plan seconds because, what's the use in that? There is kind of a use in that, in which you say, I'm going to study at 6:30, and then 6:31 comes around, and you're like, ooh, that's not a good number. Let's do 7, and you just change your plan, but you're still planning. And I just wanted to talk to you about how we have this really weird concept of time, right? Like some days or some hours even feel super super long, and some hours feel really short. And for example, when I'm gaming, or I'm having a really thoughtful discussion, or I'm making videos, um, time seems to go really really fast. Like I feel like I've been talking for like a minute, and look at that, it's already been 2.5 minutes. There's this distortion that goes around with it. But when you're stuck in a class that you don't want to be in, or you're feeling tired, and you know you're on, you're stuck in on the road in traffic or something, that can feel a lot longer than it actually is. But there are other factors that can distort time. It's when you're starting to run out. So most people can plan, 5, 10, 15, 20 years in advance, right? So when we're in first grade, you go to school, your teacher's like, oh, today's career day. What do you want to do in the future? What do you want to be when you grow up? And at that time, I was like, oh, I want to be a lawyer. I'm really logical. I like, you know, law stuff. I like being right, and I like debating, and I like reasoning with other people. It just sounds fun. And then, you know, more than a decade later, well, actually, it's almost a decade. I'm in high school, and I'm like, oh, I want to do something related to math and science. Let's try engineering. And to make it general, let's try mechanical engineering. That seems flexible enough to go into any field I want, including aerospace or electronics or, defense, whatever. But once I got my cancer diagnosis, all that kind of flew out the window, right? Because I couldn't plan. Because I didn't know how many years I would have. I wouldn't know if, I would be here in 20, 30 years. The point of, long-term planning is so that your future is confirmed, right? But really nobody's future is confirmed. And yet, how many people have retirement accounts? How many people have, for example, like Roth IRAs, right? You invest the money because you think that in 20, 30 years down the line, you're going to retire. That money will be withdrawn at that point, and you will live, you know, a long, fulfilling life. But for me, that was basically like a rug pulled out from under me, because I was like, oh my God, I don't care about jobs. I don't care about graduating. How is this going to affect my future? Like what even will my future be? And in that time of uncertainty, I felt like every day was long. I felt that every day was 24 hours of pure time for me to think and to try to rationalize, you know, try to understand the meaning of life, like what do I really want to do? And like really, like forget about money. Like money is just paper and cotton and cloth that's used to trade for services and goods. Like who and what is most important to me right now. And being in university, like you're just caught up in your day to day, right? So, oh, 1 o'clock I have a class. And then 2 o'clock after class, I have to eat lunch because 3 o'clock I have another class. Oh, 4 o'clock, I need to have a meeting. Like, you're just caught up in this next hour, next hour, next hour, next task, next task, next task. And, you know, there are certain milestones in life that you're expecting, right? So, like, there's a day you turn 18. Do you decide to drink? Actually, drinking at 21. Do you decide to get your driver's license at 21? Do you decide to drink or go to a club? Um, it's kind of like little by little, you expect things to fall into place. Graduate high school, graduate college, get a job. But when you get like a diagnosis like that, or like anything happening, like any threat to that idea, it really shakes you up. And that's why I want to talk about preparedness. So it's kind of like planning for things is great, but you have to be prepared as well, right? You have to be prepared that, okay, if something happens and my car gets a flat tire and I need to save up some money to make sure that if my car gets a flat tire, I can take it to a repair shop and pay for it and get it repaired and continue to work. And this is a point that I understand that a lot of people struggle with, because so many people are living paycheck to paycheck, and inflation is at its peak. And I'm still young. Like, I don't really know how to deal with all of that right now, but I really want to learn how, and how to help other people in those kinds of situations. Because time and time again, I see a lot of charitable kind of actions from people, whether it's in real life or online. Um, you know, it's very heartwarming to see others helping others for simply the sake of it, right? You see a fellow person in need and you help them. And that brings me to my last point of hope. So I think we can all say that we hope for a better tomorrow, for a better future. And yeah, so there is no, if you don't have hope in a better future, you have no reason to save your money or to invest your money or to go to school or to get an education or to, pursue better jobs, better opportunities. All these motivations stem from your hopes and dreams and the available opportunities. And I guess I got on a tangent here because I started with planning and then went to preparedness and then time and then hope. But basically, the more time you have, the less important it seems. And as you start to run out of time, you also start to really cherish every moment. And that's why I've been prioritizing the people in my life, the relationships that I've long forgotten about. And yeah, I've been regaining hope in my future and my achievements, my future achievements. And I'm starting to think about once again where I will be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. If you're still here, thanks for listening. I love you.